Hello, my name is Michael Doherty, and I'm the PRO for the Mike Action Group. I was asked by the Mike Action Group committee and media team to just put something together here as a brief outline of, I suppose, the journey so far and the outlook, okay, for Mike affected homeowners. So I've been Mike Action Group for several years now. I've been up and down the road to Leinster House more times than enough, with Eamon Jackson, the chair of the Mike Action Group, with Anne and Eileen, previous Mike Action Group members as well, and still close colleagues on the campaign here. And, we believe that there was certainly a different emphasis when Paddy campaign got up and running. And we really welcomed that. It gave people the courage, I suppose, to admit to the fact that they had Micah, as opposed to feeling embarrassed by it or reluctant to talk about it. So that was really needed, and it brought people to the streets, and it gave them the courage to also stand up and say this is not acceptable, and we really needed that. And Mike Action Group for years had fought this, with a lot of people reluctant to give the sort of commitment and the declaration that they now have as homeowners, which is helping the campaign massively. So we really, really welcome that. Those of us in the Mike Action Group that are still there saw this as not what it said in the tin. The 90-10 scheme certainly was nowhere near a 90-10 scheme. We now know that. We saw that early on. It took homeowners quite some time, and I suppose they had to go through the process and see the sorts of costs that are involved for themselves to really appreciate the fact that it was so far off the mark here, particularly for the demolish and rebuild families there. So where we are, I suppose, is now a place driven out of the back of the 15th of June in Dublin. When Paddy brought his army to Dublin, I was there myself, and I'm sure many of you were there too. And it was just great to see, and it really rattled the government, and that was what was needed. It took them off this sort of perch where they were, it felt like they were looking down on us. It felt like we were asking for something we weren't entitled to, and we made it very clear that this time was going to be different. And he put together the working group. The working group is still in action and will be in action to probably the end of September here, unless we have really good reason to abandon ship, and that is always out there if we don't believe we're making the progress that we need to make. We believe we're making progress, but we still have a hell of a long way to go here. These talks will resume again this incoming week now, and there will be, the full working group will have resumed then with the TDs and all, and mainly the senior civil servants all back from holidays. So that part's going to be important. Okay, so we do look forward to see what we can do. You will be aware that we are putting a lot of pressure on what we call the in-power TDs. These are the 15 TDs from the 6 affected counties. 6 affected counties are Donegal, Mayo, Sligo, Limerick, Clare and Tipperary. Okay, and these are people that are holding up the government right now, and we're basically asking them to resign their whip, which means that they don't have to necessarily resign their seat, because government would fill that with another yes man or yes woman. We want somebody that's going to defy the government and vote against them. That's what we want, and so resigning the whip does that. We have one example right now, and that's Mark McSherry, and I talked to him for about an hour on the phone this evening, and he's still prepared to stand over that. I shared that on Facebook this evening as well, and on the Mike Action Group page. He's prepared to do that, and we want to see 14 others prepared to do that too, just being blunt about it. That's what we need. And that will then force government to do what they can for the homeowners, do what they can to do the right thing. Because what we have learned up to date is that we cannot expect the right thing to be done just because it's the right thing to do. That's not how these guys work. We have got to put maximum pressure on them. Paddy and his campaign is still doing massive, great work out there, and not just Paddy himself, who has been, so committed to this whole cause, but all of the people that are out there on the 100% Redress No Less page, and on the other pages that have come up there since. We have now pulled in the likes of Sligo, we've got the Mayo and North Pyrite group as well, we've got Clare, we've got Limerick, we still need to do a wee bit of work in Tipperary. We're in talks with these people, and we're trying to get the language consistent, we're trying to get the strategy consistent, and we want to make sure that it's a complete united front across these 6 counties, 6 affected counties, to ensure that what we all deserve is delivered, and that's what we're looking for come the end of this month. We're in the last month, we're in the last run-on. It's imperative that everybody does everything that's needed there. We've got a survey we've asked for people to fill in as well, the Mike Action Group members, and also there's the letters to the bank that Paddy talked about. Lots of stuff going on there, guys. Just please stick the course with us here. Okay, thank you.